Hey, welcome back, Rankers. Hope you didn't eat a lot of chocolate over the last few days. I certainly did. Got a bit of a cold today. Not complaining, not whinging. It's not man flu. But there may be a few edits because I might sneeze, cough, dribble, drool, just things like that. So that's why there'll be multiple edits today if that happens. Right. 14 days until the mobile update. Are you ready? You better be. You're going to get smashed. Now, there's been a little bit of confusion over this mobile update that's coming to us on the 21st of April over the last week or so. On Dave Naylor's blog, some of you who are regular viewers to the show will know I've mentioned Dave before. Dave Naylor's blog is davidnaylor.co.uk. Great SEO out of England. I think he's in England. He's definitely in the UK. Anyway, post by Alex Grave on his blog, highlighting a little bit of a snippet from John Mueller, who is basically a Google guy. He runs a hangout called Webmaster Central, I think that's called, and he talks to webmasters a lot. And one of the things that he mentioned about this update is that non-responsive mobile sites may not get smashed. Now, I know you may be thinking, but Jim, you've been saying we are going to get smashed if we're not mobile responsive. I think it's important to have a look at the context of John's comment in this hangout. Basically, what he's saying is that, look, if a website or a web page is really authoritative for a particular topic, and they're not mobile responsive, they still may rank higher for that particular topic because they're a major authority for that search. I want to give you some context of what I think he's talking about there. So, for instance, let's go and have a look at the search that we all know and love, credit cards. Highly competitive, changes a bit in the top 10, changed quite a bit over the couple of last few years we've been watching it. At the moment, infochoice.com.au/banking/credit-card.aspx is the number one result. However, when I go and do a mobile friendly test on that, and incidentally, if you want to go and do this on any site, you might want to do it on competitors to see who's going to fall, you will see that it's not mobile friendly. This is a classic of a result that I think is going to get smashed. Now, that's significant. That represents a lot of traffic, and I would think a substantial amount of revenue. I don't think that InfoChoice would be so much more authoritative than, say, Credit Card Finder, which essentially are two sites that do pretty much the same thing, and they've both been around a similar amount of time, I would think. I can't see why Google wouldn't put Credit Card Finder, which is Fred's site, hi Fred, if you're watching, above InfoChoice. I think they would put Credit Card Finder above InfoChoice because they're both essentially doing the same thing. One's mobile friendly, so why not in mobile search give that to the mobile users instead of the result that isn't mobile friendly? However, if someone was searching for InfoChoice, I think they'd still rank number one on a mobile device, regardless of being mobile friendly or not, because they are an authority for the word InfoChoice, hands down, no argument. So I think it's in those specific cases that John's referring to. They're trying to dot all their I's and cross their T's and say, well, almost like legalese-like or a doctor-like, saying, well, not in every case, but for the most of us, for the great unwashed, for all of us out there that don't have massive brands like these companies, yeah, it's going to affect you. So on this page of results, and by the way, you don't even have to use that mobile-friendly page from Google. You can basically just use your mobile device and see which ones Google has listed as mobile-friendly in your mobile search results, and that will tell you who's probably going to be okay and who's probably going to get smashed. So in this result, what's significant here is we've got australia.creditcards.com, are not mobile-friendly. I don't know who they are, but I reckon that one's going to go for this particular search. And I was on Sky News a couple of weeks ago, and I was asked by Peter Switzer, do you think there are any ASX-listed companies that aren't mobile-friendly? Well, as it happens, yes. nab.com.au. according to my mobile search that I did on my phone, it didn't say they were mobile friendly. So if they're not mobile friendly, or if that page isn't mobile friendly, then that page will disappear from that search result. That was my microphone. I'll pick it up. Sorry about the noise. Hey, I'm sick. All right. Give me a break. So, yeah, there are plenty of ASX listed, or that's Australian Stock Exchange, for those of you overseas, that listed companies that are not mobile ready. And do I think this will affect their second quarter earnings? Yeah, depending on the category, definitely. Whether it affects NAB or not, I don't know. But you look at that, not mobile friendly. So that's a big brand, right? And I've done that search on the mobile device as well, and I get the same result. So certainly NAB is an ASX listed company. For this particular search, I think they'll drop like a stone. If they don't, I'll be flabbergasted. Yes, my flabber will be gasted as to what the whole mobile search update was about, because this is classic. The other thing that's come out of that blog post from Alex is that Google is saying, look, it's April 21 is your deadline, and we've never done it before because we don't want webmasters, or we didn't want webmasters panicking because they didn't know when it was going to happen. Well, they're probably panicking now because they've only got 2 weeks left. But that was the reason for the announcing of the update. So it may or may not happen on April 21. It may happen a few days after. It might get rolled out. We're not being told. And on top of all that, of course, we're still waiting for the doorway page update. But so if you've got, if you invest on the Australian Stock Exchange, then you might want to go and check who your investments are and whether they're mobile friendly and whether you think it's going to affect their earnings for the second quarter or not. But that's a biggie. We'll see you next week. Thanks very much. Bye.